welcome to a tutorial on adding balance to your website. So, um, oftentimes as search engine optimization uh, takes place, sometimes the balance or the usability of the website gets ignored. And so you get the traffic eventually, but you're still not really achieving what you want. And so sometimes it's easy to forget that the human visitors are just as important as the search engine spiders, and having poorly written content that's crammed full of keywords, unenthusiastic sales pitches, um, things like that are easy to overlook when you're working really hard to get that traffic to your website. So the easiest way to really remedy the problem is making sure it has balance. It's probably one of the simplest web design principles to achieve, while it's frequently neglected. So there's really three types. There's symmetrical balance, asymmetrical balance, and discordant balance. So symmetrical is probably the easiest and most common layout. So if you have like a heavy object on the left side of the screen, you balance it out on the right. Oftentimes you'll see websites that are centered, that have everything centered on the page or using a grid system. Or you have asymmetrical balance, where now if you were to print out a symmetrical web page and kind of fold it in half, you'd kind of see that the two sides do not match. These designs can work if you place a large object at the center line of the design and smaller objects at a distance. Um, an example of asymmetrical balance can work positively. Let's see, the Ministry of Type. Uh, this design is sort of asymmetrical, um, the way it's laid out. Again, uh, discordant balance. This is a very difficult type of balance to effectively do. In fact, we looked some time for a real good example on the web, but couldn't really find one. But when it's done correctly, discordant balance or off balance creates a sense of motion. It's intended to make people feel uneasy as they view a design. Discordant balance should only be used when your design is intended to make people feel uncomfortable. So I can't think of something off the top of my head where I'd want to do that, but that's how you, if you were hoping to achieve that, that's how you'd probably want to do so. So using symmetrical design on a website is really easy. So you have to understand kind of how it looks. So if you look at this site, would be kind of a symmetrical design. Everything's centered. This is everything's centered on the page. See how you have kind of two big blocks here, centered text, and then you have an even amount of graphics. Everything's real symmetrical. Looks good. This is probably my favorite type of layout. This is probably a great example of how it just looks real good when you have a symmetrical layout. Um, the content on the left side is centered perfectly, and then the grids mirror the left and the right. Each column is an equal length. Each image matches another on the opposite side of the screen. And the majority of text is also centered to achieve a simple and familiar sense of balance. So really, bottom line, or the end result, is your web pages really must be balanced if you want to get the most out of your SEO practices. You want people to stick around. You want people to read your text when they do get there. Search engines may not give you much of a bonus for having a well-designed site, but people and users definitely will. So if you have any questions about symmetrical balance, asymmetrical balance, discordant or off balance, and how to achieve this on your website, just let us know. Thanks.